Oh. I think that is actually very easy for me. I've seen the movie Hackers probably like 3,000 times, or 1,337 times. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it's not exactly correct, but I honestly didn't care because the fear and the love of that movie, it really gets you involved into kind of what the community was. And the community was very much like that movie, honestly. During those days, that is kind of how it was. You all got together, you all were sharing your books and your manuals and going into a little more of the technical deep dive, or you thought you were, and it was fantastic. So definitely Hackers.
Well, Hackers, the soundtrack was absolutely brilliant, but it was more like the first film that introduced me to Hackers many moons ago, but I'm a 90s kid from a music perspective, so it suits me nicely.
My favorite hacker movie is probably Sneakers. I think it's a very old movie. It was it's 94. But it's has a lot of classic hacker references in there. That's one, and I like it because it's very accurate. And one of the things they do in the movie is there's a quote from the NSA that says the NSA only spies on foreign assets. And I think in the world we live in today, that's a very interesting prediction that they have in a movie made in 1994.
My favorite hacker movie. Wow. I think I would go with Sneakers just because it's such a cult movie. But I also like series like Mr. Robot simply because they try to mimic how it is as much as possible, and I don't think they are as spot on as they can be. But what I like about it, and you see that with other series like Silicon Valley as well, is whenever something happens in the series, it actually happens in real life. For example, when an IP address gets shown in Mr. Robot, that IP address actually exists and the services are actually running. And so what you see on TV, you can try in real life. And I think that speaks to people's imagination and makes them feel that they are more included in the series. So it's not, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I like that it is so close to reality.
Sneakers, yeah, there's nothing that comes close to it. It is really because it showcases the diversity of hacking. Too often you see hacking portrayed in movies as someone sitting behind a Hydra terminal, typing out lines of green code that's scrolling across the screen, and it couldn't be further from the truth. You look at Sneakers and it was a combination of human hacking and social engineering and physical hacking and classic vulnerabilities and encryption and just the range of attacks that are possible against modern technology today is what makes this field so exciting. And Sneakers, more than anything else, did that justice.
My favorite hacker movie is Hackers because when it came out in the 90s, everyone said it's so unrealistic. You could never hack a high school. You could never hack an electric company. And what's been revealed is that those are the things that actually really do happen these days. You have high school students who hack their high school. You have hackers who are hacking, public utilities or some of the largest banks in the world. So it was actually a movie that was ahead of its time because in reality, these are the things that we worry about day in, day out.
Favorite hacker movie would be, I have a couple. One is Hackers, just because of its silliness. The whole idea of viruses battling each other out on the screen and 3D shapes representing infrastructure and data is pretty funny to watch. On a more serious note, the Matrix trilogy is my favorite set of movies of all time. I can probably recite the entire 3 movies off the top of my head if I needed to. Watched it over 100 times. Mainly because this whole idea of, having this imaginary world built out that we're all living in is something that tends to percolate in the back of my mind, and thinking through and how do you hack into something like that, or how do you hack out of something like that is always things that I think about when I have some free brain capacity.